Hey everybody, this is Marauder and welcome to another collection update. This is probably going to be the largest one to date, mainly because there were garage sales and I picked up quite a few games. So what I'm going to do is just pull things out of this box in no particular order and just kind of go through them as I find them. First things first, I went to a store called the Gaming Warehouse. It's a little bit, it's near my house, about 20 minutes away or so. But they had a whole bunch of games. They do, retro, pretty much everything. But they had quite a few games in the store that I picked up. And that's where I got the game Mind Jack. Okay, the way the store does their pricing is that basically if you buy like 3 games, you get a 4th free. So I was buying 3 games already, so this essentially became the free game, I think. Either that or it was another game in the box, I can't remember. But I played this a little bit. It's not so bad. I've heard some really bad things about this game, but overall so far I'm liking it. I don't know, maybe when I get farther into it, maybe it'll annoy me as much as it does everybody else. But I also picked up there, for the Genesis, Taz in Escape from Mars. And the only reason I picked this up is 99 cents. And you can't, I mean, it's only the cart in the box, but you can't fault it for 99 cents. I mean, hell, who wouldn't pick this up? So, it's also very fun. I played it a little bit. It's basically a Sonic the Hedgehog kind of game, but very good for what it is. This one. Oh, okay, the next, Jack X Combat Racing. Found this at a local Goodwill for just a couple of bucks, $2.99, I think $3.99. But the thing about it is it's completely sealed and has not been opened yet. $3 for a brand new PS2 game. I think I'm going to keep this sealed mainly because I don't have a PS2 hooked up right now to play it. So figured I'd just keep that wrapped up. What else do we have? For the PS2, The Bouncer. This is a game my friend Phoenix923 gave me because he found a different copy. I think he said the insert to this was printed. Yeah, this is printed off his computer. And it's in a, I don't know, is that an official case or not? Pretty beat up case though, either way. But anyway, for free, can't go wrong. Always wanted to play it, but again, don't have a PS2 hooked up at the moment. So I'll have to work on that. Let's see. Okay, there was a garage sale down the street from my house. A guy who constantly sells video games, and every single time he has a garage sale, I have to check it out. And I usually walk away with something. And this time I walked away with Medal of Honor for PlayStation 1. This is part of the Greatest Hits edition. Not much to say. I played this back when I had a PS1. I was borrowing it from a friend. And I liked it. I thought it was alright. But I never owned it, so now I own it. I can actually play this now because I have a PS3 that can do PS1, so I don't have to dig my PS1 out of the closet. Or I guess my PS2. Oh, let's see, what else do we got? Dr. Chaos for the NES. This is a game my friend LZF bought me. Or you might know him also as Frenchie on the oceanofbees.com site. But basically, this game is terrible, he said, and I have to review it. So I told him if he bought it for me, I would review it. So look for a review of this coming, hopefully soon. But yeah, this game's pretty bad. But you'll see more of that when I get down to reviewing it. Oh, let's see, what else do we got? For the Wii, Xenoblade Chronicles. I talked about this a little bit in the podcast, Welcome to Bonus Stage, that I host. Good RPG. Have not really gotten into it too much. I'm about 4 or 5 hours in, which I don't know on RPG standards if that's even a long time to get into a game. But loads of fun, liking it so far. Hopefully I'll like Last Story better, but it's still pretty good. Moving on. Another Wii game, Rhythm Heaven Fever. Picked this one up at a local Meijer store. Loving the hell out of this game. This is amazing. For $30, it's also cheaper than our standard Wii game, and it deserves to be full price. It's so much fun. It's a rhythm-based game with the Wiimote, but all you do is press the A and B button in rhythm to the music, and all of the songs are catchy. All of the graphics are really, really nice and colorful. It just looks amazing. I do have a slight problem with this game in that the TV that I'm playing it on has a slight audio sync problem where the audio is slightly off from the video. For people who have played Guitar Hero, you know that there's a thing in that game that allows you to sync it back up for high-def TVs. Well, this game does not have that, so if you don't get a TV that works right with it, you're kind of SOL. But I've adjusted to it. I'm playing through it. I'm having fun. Highly recommend that game for anybody with a Wii. Very fun. Let's see, what else do I have in here? Extreme G Racing for PS2. This is a game that a friend of mine, Frenchie, always wanted me to get, and I was trying to get it on GameCube for the longest time, but I just couldn't find a copy of it that was in decent shape. And then I remembered it was on PS2, so picked it up. Again, don't have a PS2 hooked up at the moment, so I haven't been able to play this, but still, looking forward to getting into that one when I do get a PS2 hooked back up. That's part of another thing. Here we go. Again, at a local Goodwill, I found some old PC games that, for the price, I figured I'd pick up and see if I can't get working. I haven't been able to get it working, but I do have an old PC in the back room there. That's a Windows 95 machine that I should hook up and play these. First game for the PC is Marauder, 2093 to 1944. Some kind of weird sci-fi World War II shooter. I don't know anything really about this game since I haven't been able to get it to work. But, looks interesting. Picked it up, $1.99. Complete. Really nice shape. Can't really complain. And when I do get this working, I'll let you guys know. Another game, also for Windows 95, is Alien vs. Predator. It's self-explanatory why I picked this up. I've always wanted to play this. Never been able to find a copy of it. I could play the one on Xbox and the new PC one, but I hear that's not kind of the same thing and that this is a lot better. So, or the one on Atari Jaguar, which I'm looking to pick up, but have not been able to find a copy of yet. Let's see, what else do I got in the pile here? Also at the Gaming Warehouse, I picked up, this is another one of those games that I picked up, is X-Men 2 Mutant Academy, or X-Men Mutant Academy 2, I guess. The thing was, I was standing there and I could remember playing an X-Men game when I was a kid on the PS1. I thought this was it. I paid probably more than I should have for this. And turns out it wasn't the game I was thinking of, but the one I was thinking of was Children of the Atom. But this, I played this a bit. It's alright. It's kind of a rough 3D fighter. Looks a little bit like a Tekken game. Done by Activision. It's, again, it's not too bad. It has its issues. I think it's a little too hard, and the combos are a little strange to pull off. But if you can get into it, it seems like a decent fighting game. And I did enjoy playing it for what time I did spend with it. Oh, let's see. This one here. For the Super Nintendo, I picked up Dino City. I didn't know anything about this game when I bought it, except it said Dino City on it, and it's done by IREM, and I generally like IREM games. I really like Hammering Hero on the PSP. I really liked R-Type. Pretty much every R-Type I like. What was the other one at NES? I can't remember. The one with the little robot that shoots stuff, but whatever. Dino City, picked it up. It's a weird platformer. Basically, you're a little kid who rides around on a dinosaur, and it has a unique concept where you can get off the dinosaur and jump on platforms to change certain things, like open gates or stuff, and then jump back on the dinosaur. It kind of reminds me a bit of Empire Strikes Back on the Game Boy, on the original Game Boy, where you could get on and off the Tauntaun at the beginning. But yeah, basically, it's a pretty standard platformer otherwise. The controls seem a little floaty to me. They're not as precise as a Mario or a Sonic, early Sonic. So, but still, fun. Picked it up for like $5. This might have been the free one, actually, when they did that whole deal. I am just all Butterfingers today. But that game's fun. Let's see, what else do I got in here? At a GameStop, I picked up 2 DS games same day, basically because I've always wanted these. One is Dementium the Ward. I picked this up for like $6, I think. Pretty decent game. I played through it a bit. It's like Doom 3 or a Silent Hill kind of style horror game, first-person shooter. Really well done. The company that did this Renegade kit also did a game called Moon on the DS, which I also own, and it's fantastic. If you guys like first-person shooters and you had a DS, these are pretty spot on. They're a little rough around the edges being DS games, but you know, graphically they're not as impressive as, say, an Xbox game, of course, or anything like that. But in terms of gameplay and control, it works really well. Highly recommend Dimension the Ward. I also I'm told there's a sequel to this as well, which I'm also told is good. So pick it up if you see it. I got it super cheap, so can you. Another game I picked up, this is one I've been looking for forever, is Solitarobo, Red the Hunter. This is an Xseed game. The reason I've been looking for this for as long as I have is the fact that I wanted it complete. Every time I found it otherwise, it was always just the game. There wasn't the CD with it. This actually comes with the CD. So bought this brand new, $20. You can't go wrong with that. I have not played this yet because I've been digging into some other stuff, but looking forward to getting into that as well. Show that off last, actually. Okay, now up to the garage sale finds. At one garage sale, this lady had a really interesting CD wallet. I've been looking for a CD wallet, essentially just to put my Steam games in, so when I copy them off, I can store them on, you know, CD wallet for later. Had to pick this one up. It was only a quarter. Funko Land. How could you possibly go wrong with that? I about geeked out when I saw this, and I snatched it up immediately and paid for it without even thinking. Loved Funko Land when I was a kid. Obviously, they got bought out by GameStop, and now they're all GameStops. But actually, the location that was a Funko Land when I was a kid is now a GameStop, and I still go there. But I don't know, the feeling is different, you know what I mean? It's GameStop's more corporate. Funko Land felt closer to what you'd want a game store to be. Sadly, they don't exist anymore from what I understand, but always nice to see a reminder of that. And again, only for a quarter, so I had to pick this up. Alright, now at another garage sale, a lady was selling some N64 stuff, and this is what caught my eye and what made me run over there, is a Nintendo 64. I assume this is an N64 game system carrying case. It's got a bunch of pockets on it. It says Nintendo 64 on it right there, and I believe, yep, it says Nintendo 64 on the band. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, to be honest, but you never know when you might need just a bag to carry stuff in. I might even take this to JFX just to be cool. So yeah, that was only $2 for that. So very, very excited about that. And then there was a box, this box actually, just sitting up on a file cabinet. And inside was a bunch of stuff. Oh, looks like the box got kind of beat up, but I'll probably throw this box away anyway. I gave her $5 for the entire box, and I'll show you what was inside. Basically, there was a copy of Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Let's see, NHL 99, which I don't have yet. There was Madden 2002. I think this was the last Madden game, because from what I understand, I think the GameCube came out in 2002. So the fact that this was on N64 is surprising. Also, I kind of liked the older labels for Madden games. I mean, it just says Madden 2002. They didn't just try to put a sports guy on it just to be weird. Let's see, what else? Madden 2000. this is a game I didn't know existed, was Lego Racer. I'll have to try that out. Let me see. WWF No Mercy. I am not a fan in the slightest of wrestling games, but since I was paying for the entire box, you really can't be picky. And the best game out of the pack, and the one that I was willing to pay the $5 for, is Excitebike 64. She asked me what the prices of all this stuff would be, of all these games, and I told her that the sports games were essentially worthless. And anyone who collects video games knows that to be true. I was really only paying for Tony Hawk Pro Skater and Excitebike 64. But on top of that, there was also a couple of little additional accessories. There were two, I think these are official Nintendo brand, but I might be wrong. They're missing the labels. But two little memory packs for the N64. Not a lot of games. Oh, this one is official because it has the little thing, and this one looks official if the label wasn't missing. But a lot of games didn't use the memory packs, so you know, I don't know if those will work or not, but I'll have to try them out. And of course, everybody had these. It's a Nintendo 64 Rumble Pack. I don't know if this still works, mainly because she left batteries in it, or whoever owned it left batteries in it, and they kind of corroded the... Well, actually, they look okay, but there's a little bit of corrosion in there. I had to dig out the batteries with a screwdriver, and I'll have to clean that out before I use it. It's always nice to have a Rumble Pack, because I never actually had one of these as a kid. When I was a kid, I had what was called the Tremor Pack, which was something made by the company Performance, and it basically had a memory card slot on the other end, so you could put a memory card in it at the same time. It worked just as well as a Rumble Pack, so I'm not complaining, but I never actually had an official Nintendo Rumble Pack, so that's cool. And these go for like $8 or so, if you can find anyone that still wants to buy N64 stuff like that. Also, the best find of the whole thing is one controller. And the thing about this controller is it's official Nintendo brand. Joystick is perfect. I mean, it's like the kid never used it. I don't even know. I mean, maybe he fixed it at some point, but this is pretty good. So, looking forward to actually playing some N64 games now that I have a working controller. So, very excited about that. Let's see. Okay, and another garage sale. I picked up a bunch of Dreamcast stuff. Basically, the lady was selling a box for $5, and I paid $2.75 for it because that's all I had on me. There was a system in the box. She said it didn't work. I took it home. In fact, it does not work. Tried to fix it, couldn't fix it, so tossed it. But a couple of things I kept. I kept the audio-video cable and the power cable, mainly because I have another Dreamcast that does work that is missing these. So it's really nice to have an extra spare set, especially since they're official Sega brand. In this box, I also kept the modem. I don't really know why I did that, because these are essentially pointless, but you never know. You might be able to sell this for 50 cents somewhere down the line. A bunch of official VMUs, 4 of them to be honest. There's a blue one, black one, and 2 white ones. Don't know if these work yet, but they should. This one actually has like a little red battery cover, so it looks like they couldn't find the battery cover and bought a new one. But yep, always need new memory cards with these games. So that's cool. Picked up 3 controllers with it. I got one official Sega brand one. It's just a black one, but it's in really good shape. It's a little dirty. It could use a cleaning, but all of the grip on the D-pad has been completely worn off. But the joystick's in good shape. The buttons all seem to work. Again, I have not tested this because I have to dig up my Dreamcast, but Always nice to have an extra controller. Then there was the second controller was a Performance brand controller. This thing, I'm probably going to do a video on this controller. This controller is probably the worst third-party controller I've ever used for the Dreamcast. Right next to a Mad Catz one I have, I think. But basically, the D-pad feels alright, the buttons feel okay. My main complaint is this joystick just has zero grip on it whatsoever. And then these two triggers, they're not triggers, they're more like buttons. Very weird. It's awkward to hold. It's really, really wide. I mean, you feel like you got to grip it up here, which you kind of do, but then it offsets your fingers on the buttons. So you got to kind of put your fingers up like this and kind of claw them. It's weird like that. Had they maybe modified these triggers a little bit, then it probably would have worked out really well. But this is a terrible controller. On the plus side, though, the cord does come out of the top and doesn't just clip into the back like the other Dreamcast controller does. Let's see. Then there was also an Intech controller. This one's not so bad. It's basically, it's got 6 buttons on the face. I'm not sure what the C and Z buttons do. I think they also act as the trigger buttons. Seems to have a turbo function down here. Start button's a little off to the side, but not something you can't get used to. And the triggers are actually triggers. And you can actually see them move inside, which is interesting. Joystick is in really good shape. It kind of looks like a GameCube joystick, almost. This kind of reminds me of that Hori mini pad. It's a little plasticky. I mean, you can hear it kind of snap around, but it seems to work alright. The buttons are responsive enough, and the controller itself, you know, like I said, feels okay. So as third parties go, this is probably one of the better ones that I've come across. And then, of course, as with all sales, there's a ton of games. And I got a ton of games with this system, some of which I'll probably end up selling, because I'll probably have triples of these by the end of this. Got a copy of Hidden and Dangerous, Rainbow Six Rogue Spear, so that'll be fun to play. I love Rainbow Six games, so very excited to try that one out. NBA 2K1, which I think I already have, but I don't know if I have the case or not for this one, so that's good. MTV Sports presents Skateboarding featuring Andy McDonald. This is probably a Tony Hawk Pro Skater ripoff. Could be fun to play though for a bit. You never know. I did like Tony Hawk Pro Skater a lot. Copy of Jet Grind Radio. This is probably one I'll be selling, since I already own this game. Copy of Sonic Adventure, of course. I think I have like 3 copies of this now, so I gotta sell that, but I know I'll be selling that, but always nice to see Sonic. Another stack here. Ultimate Fighting Championship, or UFC. I think I have this one already, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look. eBay is going to light up with a couple sales coming up soon. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, which again, love Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Blue Stinger. This is one I do have. I know I have. But this is a great game, by the way. Blue Stinger. If you guys are a fan of Resident Evil, even Resident Evil 4, try the Blue Stinger out if you have a Dreamcast. Really fun, cheap game. I think you can pick this up at most used game stores for around $5, and it's worth every penny. Let's see, Sega Sports Tennis 2K2, which have the two. I think those are the Williams sisters. Don't quote me on that. I don't know sports, but the tennis games always seem to be fun. Let's see, Extreme Sports by Infogram. Again, it's probably something that spawned from the Tony Hawk Pro Skater thing that was going on around the time. Zombies Revenge. I think this is one of the ones where the disc is, yeah, it's in pretty decent shape. Some of these are pretty scratched up. I'll have to test them before I make a final judgment on what to do with them. But this is interesting because there was in the game Sonic and Sega's All-Star Racing, which is like the worst title ever for a game. but it's an amazing game. These two characters are actually unlockable from this game. That guy, and there's also a girl zombie. And I've never played this, so this will be a blast. I did not own that before. Oh, let's see, another small stack of games here. Spider-Man for the Dreamcast. I gotta play this eventually too, because this looks fun. Quake 3 Arena. I think I already have this game, but I might not. Some of the cases are in pretty rough shape and actually were taped back together, so this being one of them. Let's see. Sega Sports NCAA College Football Road to the Rose Bowl 2K2. That's probably the longest title for a game ever. Let's see. Max Steel, for anyone that remembers Max Steel, apparently they made a game about Max Steel. And it was on the Dreamcast. Capcom versus SNK. I think this is one. And if I remember correctly, this disc, yep, this disc is in pretty good shape. I have Capcom vs. SNK on my PlayStation 1 as well, and I really like that game, so this one should be hopefully better than the PS1 version, but who knows. Let's see here. Oh, some more sports games. Sega Sports NHL 2K2. Spec Ops 2 Omega Squad, which I think is some sort of, I don't know, it looks to be some sort of Tom Clancy's Spec Ops kind of thing. Well, obviously it says Spec Ops, but, you know, some kind of stealth-based thing. That'll be fun to try. Let's see. NBA Showtime NBA on NBC. Old Midway game. I think this is the one that plays a lot like NBA Jam, but I'm not positive. Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation. This one's missing the case and all. I don't know if I own this one yet or not, but I'll have to look. And last but not least, in the game that I'm certainly never selling, as long as I have a system to play it on, is Power Stone. This is incredible. I've never, ever, ever owned a copy of Power Stone. I have Power Stone. I have played Power Stone a lot, and I have Power Stone on my PSP. There's a good port of that. And actually, I recommend that. Power Stone Collection on PSP has the first and second game on it. It's a blast. But I'm very excited to own this. Looking forward to trying this out. So, all that together, which I think is everything. I might be missing something, but I can't remember it now, because if it wasn't in the box, it must not have been that important. Tons of games. I will probably never have time to play most of these, but, oh wait, there is one thing I forgot. And actually two things I forgot now that I remember. One was I picked up Kid Icarus Uprising. I'm not going to go upstairs and grab it now, but I'll probably show it off in another collection update, since I didn't show it off here. But the one thing that I've been waiting months for is I finally got my Circle Pad Pro. I'm going to be doing a video on this accessory, so I won't go into too much detail, but I did end up picking one up. So look forward to a video on that. So, that should be everything. Yeah, I got a lot of games to play, especially on older systems, which is always a plus. Always enjoyed playing older games rather than newer games. But with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you saw some games you were interested in, and I hopefully can recommend some for you. Overall, I highly recommend any game in here I've played. I played a bit of Dino City. Check that out. It's kind of fun. And Dimension of the Ward is good, so try that one out as well. Anyway, as always, I'm Marauder, and I guess I'll catch you guys on the next collection update. See you guys later.